as she said, my name is Daniel Cravens, and I'll be telling you a story that comes back later. For those of you who do not know me, I grew up in a small town. It was the type of place where, you know, your cousin lives right next door, but they're married to your other cousin, and something like that. So, like, growing up in a small town, for me to be here in front of all you at this big school, I would have never expected it. But, like, oh gosh, okay, so, give me a second. So this is my first time in JCPS, though. And when I was in 7th grade, my parents got a divorce. And I had to move to Middletown with my mom. So, gosh, I can't, I'm drawing a blank. Oh, I went to Crosby, and to be honest, I hated it. No offense to some of you, most of you guys, because I know you went to Crosby. I hated my life here. I didn't have friends at Crosby. I had no social life. My grades slipped, and I felt empty, but I wouldn't eat, and I was exhausted, but I couldn't sleep. So, I just used to cry myself to sleep, you know. And one night I was laying there, I decided that my mom couldn't physically force me to go to school. So one morning she gets me up and she says, go get dressed, go to school. Go to the bus stop and go to school. So I got dressed, got ready for the bus stop. I walked out the door, but I did not walk to the bus stop. I walked the opposite direction. I walked about like far enough to where I could still see the house, but like she couldn't see me. I was like crouching in some bushes or something. So she left for work, and I just went back in and went to sleep. I figured she wouldn't notice because she got home after I returned from school, like every day. She got home after me. I didn't realize that they actually called your parents and let them know you didn't go to school. So that day when I get home, she calls me over and says, so like in the most sarcastic tone I think I've ever heard, so Daniel, how was school today? I didn't know what to say. I was like, pretty good. Eventually, she point blank asked me, Daniel, why did you not go to school? I told her that I didn't like my life there, and I was homesick, and I wanted to be back where I was from. But that's not an easy thing to tell your parents. Tell them that you wish for a different life. It breaks their heart because they want you to be happy in the life that you have. That ended up being one of the most emotional nights of my life because we lay there and broke down and cried for that whole night. And I knew that I was stuck with this life where I had no friends and I wasn't happy, and I just knew I was stuck. And I know she wanted the best for me, so it was hard. So that all changed a week later when my mom got a phone call from my grandpa. He said that a member from their church had been praying for me, and that God had shown him how I was feeling. He thought it'd be best if I came back and lived with him in my former school district, Shelby County. I was in shock. It was a dream come true for me to go back home to where I was from. Okay, so the next week I was back in Shelby County with my old friends, my old family. It was pretty much like LeBron going back to Cleveland. The king was home. He was there and he was sitting on his throne. I sat on this throne for a year and a half. I lived with my grandpa sitting on this throne for a year and a half. Until one day, he said, how would you feel about going back and living with your mom? And he said, because things were changing, he wasn't going to be able to take care of me anymore. And my heart dropped, because I knew I was going to go back to this hell of a life that I'd lived before. I knew I didn't have a choice. I didn't know what to do. So, January 13th, 2014, I was set to start Eastern High School. I was more nervous for my first day at Eastern than for my first day at Crosby. And that's really saying something, because Crosby freaked me out. So that morning, I got up and I put the fakest smile I could put on, and I walked in those doors. And it wasn't as bad as I thought. Yeah, I got the awkward stares and the weird welcomes to people. Hey, welcome to Eastern. It wasn't as bad as I thought. And I've made some lifelong friends and some great memories since starting at Eastern. And I just want to say thank you to my mom, because even though we've had our hard times, she's always there right in the front row. And I guess what I'm trying to say is, as hard as you try to avoid change, you can only prolong it. God bless.